Let's go through the story of Ben and Arthur, and we're going to give credit where credit is due on this. This is a Dave Ramsey example with his numbers, his math. We probably would use a more conservative rate of return on this if we were doing this ourselves, but the concept is still true. Okay, so follow along with the concept on this, even if the numbers might be a little bit different. So you got two people, Ben and Arthur. At age 19, Ben decides that he's going to invest $2,000 a year. This kind of dates this story because this used to be the IRA limit on contributions was $2,000 a year. So Ben decides he's going to invest $2,000 a year for 8 years. He gets a 12% rate of return. At age 26, he stops putting money into his investments. So he has put in a big whopping total, $2,000 times 8 years, $16,000 is all that Ben has put in. Arthur comes along. He's got more important stuff to do in his first few years of working, and he decides he's not going to invest quite yet. So then he starts at age 27. He puts in $2,000 a year, and he does that until he is 65. So that's many more years, gets the same rate of return as Ben does, but he has put in $78,000 as opposed to Ben's $16,000. Now, the question is, who wins this game? When both Ben and Arthur turn 65, they decide to compare their investment accounts. Who do you think won? Ben put in $16,000 over 8 years. Arthur invested $78,000 over a 39-year period of time. Believe it or not, power of compound interest, Ben comes out ahead, and not by just a little bit. It's $700,000 ahead. The difference in what Ben and Arthur have is more than what many Arkansans actually retire with. That's just the difference of the two. So Arthur has a total of 1.5, while Ben has a total of 2.2. How does that happen? It is the power of compound interest.
Now, I'll say just for the record that 12% is stretching it
stretch,
out there.
Yeah.
The average rate of return of the S&P 500 is more like about 10%. So 12% is a little bit of a stretch. But
follow through. You'd still have hundreds of thousands of dollars more than the other guy.
Yeah, the principle is still the same. It is that time value of that $16,000 sitting there compounding at whatever rate of return that you get. It's that compounding that does kind of create that gap between what Ben did in just a few years, just 8 years of saving versus what Arthur did in a lifetime of saving.
The simple truth behind this is you have more doubling periods. We've talked about the rule of 72 is a concept that you just need to understand as an investor. It basically helps you figure out how often it's going to take your money to double. So at 12%, if you divide 12 into 72, it'll go in there 6 times. So your money's going to double every 6 years. But if we use John's example, which I think is way more realistic, of 10%, if you divide 10 into 72, your money's going to double every 7.2 years. So you still have, because Ben started earlier, you still have more doubling periods than Arthur will ever have.